Hey guys, John here. I wasn't actually planning on doing a video on this subject, and you may have seen me mention this on Twitter that the situation at Astroworld and everything that has happened since is complicated and will require, a lot of investigation. But at the same time, I thought people might find it a little weird that I've not spoken about it on camera, especially seeing as there's Travis Scott reaction as one of the most recent videos on the channel. So guys, I'm not going to go into the specifics of what happened like a news channel. I'm sure you guys know and can easily find out. Obviously, 8 people passed away at this festival due what seems to be massive overcrowding and a crowd surge causing people to get trapped, and the whole thing is horrendous to even think about. It reminds me of something that happened in 2000, a festival called Roskilde in Denmark. I think it was Pearl Jam were playing, and 6 people died in that. I think there was like torrential rain or something really muddied. 6 people died in similar circumstances there. And just a few days later, I went to the Reading Festival here in the UK and saw the Foo Fighters play. And even though I was only about midway through the crowd, when they started to play, there was a surge during that, and I quickly went from feeling normal to not being able to move in that. Thankfully, Dave Grohl, obviously very aware of what had happened a few days earlier, noticed, was told whatever happened, and was just constantly, I mean, in terms of a set, it was shit because he kept stopping halfway through every song to telling everybody to back the fuck up. And, as soon as I started to feel like this anyway, I'm quite claustrophobic, so I got out of there. And, nothing bad happened. And I think he's gone on to basically do that in any large setting. And other artists, I mean, there's countless other artists who've been told about the stuff like this happening, whether it's people passing out or crushes or things, and stop shows. And as we all know from this situation, Travis didn't do that, or at least perhaps stopped it briefly, and then, by all reports, continued to play for another 37 minutes after the event was deemed a mass casualty event. That is what is being said. Obviously, the situation is absolutely abhorrent and appalling, and my thoughts on it. Ultimately, the duty of care for an event like this, a festival like this, is for the safety of its patrons, the safety of its customers. And considering some of the footage that we saw before the event started, of people bursting through the VIP section, breaking the fence, there was considerable worries beforehand. Obviously, hindsight is 2020, and nobody suspected that anything bad would happen. People just thought kids were going a bit crazy at a festival. And what's happened and transpired since is so horrendous, and we're now going to see many justified lawsuits against Astroworld, the company, however it's all put together. And even reading about some of the situations of people in that crowd fills me with just it's horror. It is abject, absolute horror. There's been a lot of conversation going around about Travis's involvement in this situation. And while there's no doubt that he fucked up at a tremendous level in not addressing what was going on, I think it's fair to acknowledge that we don't know for sure exactly what he was being told and exactly what he was aware of during the show as he was playing. So I think that's fair to say. This is why you need an investigation into this situation, because there's damning footage of him fucking doing the robot while there's like a limp body on the ground in the foreground, but you don't know what he could see, you don't know what he was being told. Now, was it a massive failure on part of the organisation at the moment to not relay that information to the performers as it was happening, as security vehicles are moving into the crowd? Absolutely, a huge failing, and I get the impression that an investigation will reveal multiple failings here. We just don't know exactly what those are. Do you know what I mean? Apart from the obvious. So that's that's kind of the situation that we're in. You like to think that Travis Scott wouldn't continue playing, knowing the extent of what was going on. You kind of have to believe that. I know some people are demanding that he apologise or take accountability and responsibility, but I understand why that hasn't happened yet. We've had those kind of shit generic messages that have come out afterwards. I'm not condoning any of that, but when something of the legal ramifications of a situation like this is, you can understand why that's not happened. I know that other artists have promised to donate their earnings from the festival to the families, and of course the ad rev from this video will be doing the same, and there's a link down in the description should you want to join in on that. I said also on Twitter that there shouldn't have to be GoFundMes for these victims to organise burials, funerals, or whatever it is, because of the lawsuits, and this was before the lawsuits were announced. As much as anything, this needs to be already a kind of lesson for multiple ends. At like, one, from a sort of corporate point of view, the absolute importance of safety above all else in a situation like this. I mean, you get that many people into a space and things can go wrong very, very, very quickly. Once that first wave had happened, seemingly, that's it. You're kind of fucked from there. There's not a lot you can do beyond extremely strict communication quickly from the stage to stop it. Obviously, the music being stopped and people backing up, and then making sure they can get other people up. But there's going to be a load of shit coming out from this, guys. So yeah, I just wanted to relay my thoughts and just to reiterate an absolutely horrendous event, uncondonable, absolutely abhorrent from an organisational point of view. And whether that's, it's Travis Scott's festival, but ultimately there needs to be an investigation into exactly who is to blame to make sure it can never happen again, and to make sure that families of victims and things do get what they deserve. I mean, deserves the wrong choice of words, but you know what I mean? Like, money is there's going to be a lot of money settled, and rightly so, to be honest. I've heard some conspiracies and stuff like that. That's just distracting from the issue. But ultimately, as somebody, listen, you know me, I love music, and I'm a Travis Scott fan and have been because of this channel. Also somebody who is vehemently against cutting corners when it comes to events, anything corporate, anything to do with safety. On top of that, public safety, massively. I mean, as we all should be, but it's inexcusable the amount of money that their festivals make. If any corners have been cut in terms of safety, and it's completely and utterly unacceptable to the highest, and unfortunately the most lethal degree here. So like I said, there's links down in the description if you wanted to help the families. Let's just make sure this doesn't happen again. It shouldn't have to happen. There is no reason. There's too many times that it has happened, and to have it happen right now in 2021 with all the extra technology that we have. Guys, take care of each other. I'll see you all soon.